as a young lad, obviously having a black dad and a white mum, it was never really in terms of perceived racism at first, which I knew or didn't know. You know, sometimes you get the stop checks, you know, as a group of young lads crossing the road or you know, waiting at a bus stop. So those things kind of crept in, but I never knew that was kind of, at that age, kind of racism or stereotyping from the police. But I went to a school that was in Kent, so it was predominantly a white school. Looking through, you know, our textbooks, for example, and stuff like that, there was words like BMP, NF, the neo-Nazi signs and stuff like that. And obviously at that age in secondary school, I knew what they stood for. And there's obviously certain areas that you knew was a hotbed of racism. Now, playing in rugby, it was never really until probably I got a little bit older. I think it was around 16, and I was playing in a college game, and we were playing against this team, and one of the players called myself and this other player, you black monkeys, and obviously we reacted in, you know, a way that, you know, you can't be saying stuff like that. You know, we were obviously outraged. And to be fair to the referee, he stopped the game, he cancelled the game. You know, he said that's not on. You know, he awarded us the win of the game. But I think back to it now, was there any consequences for that young person for saying stuff like that? I don't know. Did we follow it up? No, we didn't follow it up. You know, because, you know, I think we've heard it a number of times, and it's trying to kind of, you know, more of a duck's back. But now I look back at it and think, you know, how was that lad allowed to do stuff like that, you know?
Turning now to new evidence in the George Floyd case.
Everyone knew that these things happen, and it's kind of bypassed. It's like, oh, look, there's just another murder by the police on a black person, and it come accepting. And I think that George Floyd put everything in perspective, that now you can't just let it happen. You have to put a stop to things, you know, and I think you have to unite as people to come together to show that this is not acceptable in the world, you know, and that's what it's brought to light to, you know. These things just not happened over 1 or 2 years. This is generations of it's happening. It's given everyone a voice to speak their mind and speak what's happened in their past and what they want to change for our next generation, our kids and our grandkids. You're not going to change people's thought process if you're going to hear the same voices all the time. You need to have people of a generation or an ethnic minority that understands the trials and tribulations that are what are going on within the community.